what I've seen. But regardless, it has the potential to go back and forth. Like I say, I think last week was a 3-0 to Noops, and obviously this being best of 5 gives a bit more chance for either player to kind of make a comeback. Although, obviously, key difference here is Lyra being on the Ness, which she has kind of always, like, secondaried and played a lot in friendlies, but not been super confident in pulling out in bracket. Probably less so in a matchup like this, but I think she just kind of wants to try Ness out a bit more this week. I mean, if there's going to be any week to do it a round robin like this, when it's all best of 5, you have a bit more breathing room to play around with characters in a best of 5, and also it's not like if you lose, you're getting knocked into losers, because we are just a round robin currently. And I don't necessarily know what this matchup's like. I feel like there will have been a time where like, knowing Ness's matchup spread was, like, pretty vital, but he's a lot less common than he used to be. I remember, like, early Ultimate, especially a lot of the Ultimate I watched, Ness was, like, a very common character. Especially with me being an Incineroar player, even before I mained Incineroar, what was this? I've forgotten the tag. The I think it was SoCal. The Magister, that was it. Who went to the same local as a Ness. I don't know if it was Best Ness, but obviously this was like a very different kind of breed of players in this early Ultimate that we remember. But obviously, with how much the meta has developed, Joker still being a well-regarded character, obviously still being represented by MKLeo, and Ness kind of dwindling a lot in representation to the point of probably being like a very obscure character, I feel like, at this point, despite not being super technical and being quite rewarding. Not necessarily to say that he's like broken or anything, but he gets big rewards off certain things, especially with optimized like magnet combos and stuff. And obviously has some like very strong options in back throw, killing, you know, not even at ledge at like 115, and a really strong 2-frame option in yo-yo and stuff like that. Obviously having a pretty noticeably bad recovery and disadvantage, but still with room to mix it up, and I think probably has like a very is like surprisingly okay in some matchups. But I mean, I think to be fair, I saw a Twitter clip the other day of this just being something that happened like on repeat against a Fox specifically, and it's like there is nothing, like there are some characters who literally cannot do anything about that. Like someone like Fox who has a wind-up on his up B, like the Ness can just react, like if they know the timing, they can just react and yo-yo at the right time, and the Fox does get hit, and there is literally nothing they can do about it, because unless you have like a very quick and hard to react to up B, which Joker's has like a tiny bit of startup, but I can't imagine Noops reacting very quickly to Lyra running off with the forward air and just about missing and back airing there. And now obviously, although Lyra very much has the percent advantage, I was going to say Noops does have Arsene out, but yo-yo. And we've got Noops' Terry coming out. I imagine this is probably, obviously in our kind of level, obviously matchups aren't super important. I imagine Ness would probably prefer a Terry than a Joker. Although, like, Terry's taller and bigger and easier to hit. Like, I know Joker's tall, but also he just sometimes has a tiny hurt box for no reason, whereas Terry is going to get hit by rising forward airs a lot and things like that. He's, I don't know how Yo-Yo's going to interact with up B, because obviously there is the invincible version, and I don't know if the invincible version will just completely beat out Yo-Yo at ledge, but it's a possibility. True. But we'll have to see what I don't really know. I remember like labbing Terry combos when he came out. And but I don't really know what he likes in terms of like if Ness is like a bit too floaty for some of his stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Ness can like DI up like and get out of some Terry stuff. But regardless, Terry does have... I was going to say he does have Go, which is about to come out, but dying there to that stage spike will quite nicely take Go completely off the table for that stock, because that's one of the issues with Terry a lot of the time, is that if he takes the stock first and he's like at 100, it can be very hard to take the stock back, because he can play to his lead and also has Power Geyser and Buster Wolf, which are two obviously very strong options that kill very early. At the very least, I'm sure Yo-Yo will do well against Terry's like crack shooting back to stage, unless Ness just gets hit beforehand. And I'm also sure that Ness's juggling is going to be pretty handy against someone like Terry. I mean, as we're seeing here, Lyra has found the up B button, and it's looking pretty grim for Terry getting back on the floor. Finally managing it, albeit at 200, but this is Terry, who now still has his Go meter. Although one back throw will seal that stock nicely. And now this matchup is one, or at least just any matchup with Terry, from the most part, I think is one that changes a lot depending on who has the stock lead. I think Terry is very good with the stock lead, but in some matchups I imagine he struggles a lot when he is the one having to run in and try and get a stock back. And against someone like Ness, who can like throw out like big hitboxes that Terry's probably just going to run into. And Burn Knuckle clashing with the back air there. And once again, Noops changing character to one of his probably 4 we've seen so far this bracket. Zelda Ness, I feel like Zelda's a weird character in that I think that like she's terrible, but sometimes random characters complain about Zelda. Like we were just talking before bracket about like DDD's matchups, and for some reason DDD players think Zelda's like their worst matchup, or like tied for with Steve for their worst matchup. And like obviously I know that Olimar mains hate Zelda. There's just some like random characters who hate Zelda, even though fundamentally Zelda seems like very, very bad. But I assume Ness isn't one of them, but I can potentially see some like Zelda having some okay things against Ness. Obviously, the weird thing about Zelda is like I think she's designed to be a trap character, but doesn't trap very well, and then is forced to like fight up close with not very good normals. I don't know, she has some good normals, to be fair. Like they're good for like specific things, but I don't think she has like good normals for, or she doesn't have like consistent normals for scrapping. Like Nair is probably like okay in scrapping situations, but seems inconsistent both like in terms of its function, like literally whether or not the full move hits. Oh, that was a regrab, but Foluain managing to swat Noops away with the up air. Zelda finding the down air off stage. To be fair, I imagine Zelda's like edge guarding and potentially ledge trapping too is good against Ness. Obviously, as we saw earlier, Lyra was going to magnet the to absorb the side B, which obviously Zelda's like to throw that off stage. For characters with like predictable and linear recoveries, that side B can actually be very good, because if you have like limited places, you can like if the literal recovery route you take is very telegraphed, that can be good. But obviously if Ness can just like linger out there with magnet out, like it's probably not much you're going to get off there. Noops once again going for the down air, which is understandable because it's a lingering like spiking move whose weak spot also spikes. Down air is actually kind of a nutty edge guarding move. I don't know how good it actually is, but against some characters, like the fact that even the weak hit spikes means that like there are some characters who would just die to that when they really shouldn't. Because like if your up B just doesn't take you far enough, then you will just lose like your stock there. Even at like 20%, even if you get hit by the sour spot, you will just get spiked enough that you can't recover. Lyra going for the home run on the Phantom there, although not quite knowing the timing. That's the thing with Phantom, is that you can... there are like a bunch of different like sizes to it, but once it's fully charged, it is on a set path, and there is nothing Zelda can do to change its timing. I remember I used to know the timing quite well back from when Bermuda came here, and he played... to be fair, I probably do still know it quite well, because it's very good to revenge Phantom. But it's one of those things that, like, the fact that it's a specific timing can be like a good thing at ledge, because you are forcing someone to pick up or to pick a certain option at like, you know exactly when they have to do it. But in neutral, the fact that it is on a timer is kind of makes it predictable and a lot easier to deal with, especially if you have a reflector. Noops just about managing to fall out of the or like not get hit by that kind of fake follow-up that Ness is like to do with that second forward air, and just holding down and up airing. I heard Foluain switching to the Cloud, which is fair enough. I imagine unless your Im's on, this is probably a pretty good matchup for Cloud. But Mona's pizza song. That should be the official Tea Time theme tune, because we have pizza. And Mona is also a Persona reference. And Persona's in this game. This is probably the most Mona's pizza song has ever been played on a single stream. We've had it 3 times so far today. I've seen, I think that was a Displaced Phantom. I'm seeing Noops hit them a lot more consistently, specifically today. Normally I see him... okay, he messed up that one, but don't mention that. But normally I see him, like, he goes for the Displaced Phantom at the start of the game, messes it up, and then just doesn't go for it again. But I've seen him hit, like, a few of those. I don't actually know exactly what the inputs are, but I remember when that was, like, a thing that was discovered early Ultimate, and Zelda's freaking out, and then that gave them a thing to lab. Lyra, a singular thing to lab. Noops taking first blood with that forward air, which is a very strong move. The lightning kick killing Cloud very convincingly at like 120 after the hit, and I think Evelyn was probably at like barely 100, because that move does like a decent amount of damage as well. One thing I can imagine is very annoying about this matchup is obviously recovering without limit is probably going to be very difficult for Cloud, a character who doesn't have an up B that snaps to ledge, and Zelda, a character who has a lingering spiking down air. And the high recovery from Cloud getting caught by the Phantom, which is, yeah, another big thing is that Cloud's like main recovery mix-up in situations like that is going high, but if Phantom's going to catch it, then Phantom is going to catch it, especially because it does have like a pretty big upward swing, like, so it catches like quite a good range of Cloud's recovery there. And Evelyn taking Noops' first stock with the Limit Blade Beam. And, you know, Cloud can make these comebacks, although when the pressure is on him to approach, that's obviously, in a matchup like this, a bigger deal, because Cloud's main thing is applying pressure. And if, you know... Okay, well, answering back with that second stock with a pretty random, I guess she just reacted to the like air dodge lag and got that finishing touch. But yeah, no, that's exactly what Lyra needs, because although air dodging off stage like that, not what she needs, not quite in Cloud's recovery range. And now we are seeing this go to a Game 5. The last 2 games obviously going to Noops' Zelda, so Evelyn's going to have to figure something out to deal with this character specifically. Sticking with the Cloud, which is understandable, perhaps. Obviously, Foluain was fighting from a deficit for the majority of that game, which is obviously something that changes the nature of the matchup a lot. If she can be the one to take the stock first, then that's a big deal. Being able to instead just kind of play Cloud's keep out game and worrying less about Zelda's kind of semi-fake traps in Phantom and stuff like that. Obviously be big. Foluain already racking up the damage a lot just with Cloud's big hitting moves in up B and back air and side B, all of which do pretty good damage. And the recovery to stage nearly killing Noops there with that up smash out of shield, and now you are being ledge trapped by a Cloud who is glowing blue. Pressuring the jump and punishing with an up smash. That's looking very good for Lyra, who is now, I was going to say up a full stock. Obviously now the numbers are getting orange, and Zelda can definitely kill someone like Cloud early when Lightning Kick is already sending that far off stage, and we've already seen that Cloud's recovery options have been a bit limited against Zelda, and Noops has been catching some of them with Phantom and other traps at ledge. But if Foluain can maintain the very important stage control in this matchup, then with these percentages could look to take Noops' second stock before even losing her first. But we're seeing a lot of like back and forth between each side of the stage and each ledge, and obviously in this matchup both characters like ledge trapping is very important to finding stocks, and at this point both characters will very much be wanting to secure stocks when they get the opponent to ledge, and Noops doing just that, finding a dash attack to catch Foluain's attempted escape out the corner. But now, I was going to say now dealing with a Cloud back airing Noops at ledge, but finally finding the up smash out of shield, which Foluain's been fishing for a lot this set, and has been getting a few of them, and some pretty crucial stocks have been taken. Put that up smash. Oh god, I'm sneezing. And now once again the stock lead is very big for Cloud here. Noops not quite at a point where he'll looking to be taking stocks off ledge traps, but certainly at a point where he can be racking up enough damage to get Cloud in a precarious situation, such as that down air up smash, which is getting Cloud right above him. Although the limit helping Cloud in his ability to land, which is obviously a big deal. The forward smash not quite killing across stage yet. Tacking on a tiny bit of damage with that early recovery with the limit up B. Noops finding, or trying to find a kill with these dash attacks and lightning kicks, but so far Foluain is managing to hang on and just continuing to chip away up B's out of shield, and all it takes is one back air in a bad situation, and that'll be the set to Foluain 3-2 over Noops.